everyone, I'm Sarah Catterall. I'm the Education Officer at Goulburn Museum, and welcome back to another virtual family craft day for the month of May. And this month we're doing our crafts with the theme of the art of trolling, based off of the new DreamWorks movie Trolls World Tour. So thanks so much for joining us today. We're really excited to have you with us to do these three crafts. So let's get started on our first one, which is going to be making a troll mask. So you can see I've got my mask down here and I have my troll hair up here. So that's what we're going to be making today. So before we get started, make sure you go to our website and that you've downloaded the supplies list. It looks like this. You can see we have some regular craft supplies that'll be helpful for you, but if you don't have these at home, we've also suggested some substitutes for you to use. And I'll make sure that I just point out throughout the craft where you can use these substitutes. Okay, so let's get started. First step, we need to cut out a template of our mask. So I drew this by hand. So this should be the size to fit roughly across the top half of your face. Obviously these two circles are going to be for your eyes, so that's a good marker for where to start. So you can pause it here and trace out the mask. You can either use craft foam, which is a bit more sturdy, and that's what I've used. And if you only have construction paper or printer paper, that's totally fine. But because it's a bit flimsier, I recommend you glue it onto some cardboard from a cereal box first and then cut it out. It will be a lot sturdier and easier to work with. So once we have cut out the outline of our mask and the circles for the eye holes, you should have something that looks like this guy right there. You can see fits on my face. And this doesn't have to be white. This should be whatever color you want it to be. You've seen the Trolls movies, you know they are bright colored little creatures. So I just had white craft foam, so that's what we're gonna be using for mine. Now, the fun part of this is that you get to decorate this however you want to, your mask. So for mine, I've done purple eyebrows, I've done pink eyelashes, yellow for the ears, I've done a green nose, little blue earrings over here. So pause the video here and go ahead and color this mask and make it look as cool and crazy as you want. I've used markers, but you can use paint, glitter glue, feathers, sequins, stickers, whatever you have to make this mask super bright and really colorful and totally your style. So go ahead and pause the video here while you do that. And then once you are done, what we're going to do is we're going to take a toothpick, just like this. This will be easiest if you've used craft foam. If you're using your cardboard and construction paper mask, then you might want to get a parent to help you and either hole punch or use the tip of scissors. So if you're using tips of scissors, just please make sure you've got a parent or guardian who's helping you with that. We're going to take this toothpick, and I can show you that right around where the ears are, right through here, this is where we're going to poke two holes in, one here and one here, and that's going to be where the string goes to tie the mask around your head. So we'll just poke some holes in here just like that, and then I will take a pencil and just make it a little bit wider. So do that one on each side. I did mine where my earrings are, so they're kind of just, the holes are kind of disguised. So then the next step that we're going to do once we've punched the holes in our mask is we're going to need some string. The more elasticy the string, the better, because then you can make it tighter and it'll stretch around your head, but I didn't have that, so I'm using wool again. And all I did was I just measured out roughly how much string would I need to have it fit behind my ears, tie to the mask, and stay on my face. So remember, it's easier to start with too much string and cut it down. So then cut off a piece of string that's going to wrap properly around your head and fit. So here's my long piece of string. Fits around my head. So what you're going to do, take your string. If you're like me and you're using wool, make sure you tape the end so it's easier to put through a little earring hole. You're just going to thread that through and then tie it off. And you can do the same thing for the other side. What I actually did was I tied this off at the very, very end once I'd finished the mask, just so I could do some final adjustments. So you did through one, and I would wait to the very end of the mask to tie off the other side of the string. So we have our decorated mask, we have the string so it fits behind our head and we can hold it onto our face. And at this point you could stop if you really wanted to, but it's not quite as fun as adding in some really funky troll hair. But you've got your colorful mask, so you're done the first part for sure. The next step is we're going to create our troll hair. If you have any old just plastic headbands that you're not using around the house, this is a great way to repurpose those. But again, I'm using some substitutes. So what I do is I took 2 pipe cleaners, and these are a little bit long for our purposes, so I cut off about 2 inches off the end. And what you're going to do is you're going to take those pipe cleaners and you're going to form an archway just about that high. That's about an inch at the highest point off the top of the head, but it's going to form a little headband shape on your mask. So what you're going to do is you'll place that out on the back of your mask, and you're going to want to use hot glue if you can for this. If you don't have a hot glue gun, I would recommend using some stronger tape, like a piece of duct tape or something, to hold your pipe cleaner in place. So what I've done here is I have done a lot of hot glue, and it's just holding that side into place. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just going to pile on the hot glue, and then you're just going to have to hold it in place for a couple of minutes while it dries. So go ahead and pause the video while we do that. Okay, so my hot glue is now dried. It took about 3 to 4 minutes, and you can see we have this archway over the top of our mask, and now we get to play with some tulle, which is really, really fun if you have it. And if you don't have it, that's totally fine. This is where construction paper or tissue paper will work just as well. Anything that you can cut into strips, really. So choose something with really, really bright colors, because again, the trolls, super bright, super fun. So what you want to do is, if you're using tulle, which I am, you want to cut your material into strips. Probably the longer the better, but I would say around 20 inches for now. You can cut it down. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your strips and you're going to tie them onto these pipe cleaners. So what I did is I'm taking my strip of tulle, I'm folding it in half so it forms a loop right there. I'm going to take this loop and I'm going to feed it through my pipe cleaner archway. And once the end of my loop is through, I'm going to stick my fingers through the loop, grab the ends of my tulle, and just pull it through and make a knot that way. And I'll just tighten it off, and I'm going to slide it over to the end. So I'm going to work my way over, starting at one end of my pipe cleaners, first strand of hair. And I'll do that again with my other piece of tulle, purple, making my knot, my loop, sliding the loop through the pipe cleaners, and then pulling the ends of the tulle through that loop, and then just tightening it down. Now we have alternating, so far, orange and purple hair. So you're going to do that all the way across, and you can fit quite a few strips around this little bit of pipe cleaner. So with tissue paper, again, you're just going to need to be careful. It's a pretty delicate material. It might be good to roll it up, tuck it through, and just tie it off that way. Construction paper, same thing, just slide the strip of paper through. Once you're done, you're going to take a rubber band. You're going to gather up all of that tulle. So you can see I have it going all the way around, and it's pretty crazy. And you're going to put a rubber band around the top. And if you're using tulle, it's naturally stiff, and it's going to stay upright like that. Tissue paper, you're going to have to play around with the height of the rubber band to get that little top ponytail effect. But there you go. We have our first craft. It's a troll mask complete with hair of any kind of color that you have chosen. Just make sure that you have tons of fun with it and you make it your own style.